if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get.
No one knew that night would be so special. There was no official announcement, no media leaks, and no sign of the usual excitement. But behind the suddenly lit screen, the world changed in an instant. Music played softly, sweeping away the silence, and then, there stood the figure millions of hearts had longed for. Jungkook. Alone. No stage, no spotlight, no audience noise. Just him, the music, and a silence that felt very real. His face looked tired, but not from ordinary fatigue. Something was lurking behind his eyes. Longing, perhaps. Or perhaps it was the result of long, never-ending rehearsals. In a low voice, he said, "I have to stay for a while." A sentence that sounded ordinary but felt deeper, like a calling from the heart he couldn't ignore. Then he confessed, "It shouldn't be normal. So quiet. It's sad." Beneath the quiet of the room, he was fighting a silence he couldn't express.
Maybe you'll get sick of being the monster.
He then introduced each of the team members with him in the practice room. "There are 9 of us," he said with a small smile. They weren't idols, not stars, but people who worked silently to create a magnificent performance. Jungkook treated them with genuine respect. He never forgot that no light on stage could shine without the hands behind it. Then he began to sing. First song flowed softly. There were no fancy arrangements, no sound effects, just his raw voice, yet full of emotion. His voice trembled slightly, but that was precisely why it felt honest. He sang like someone speaking from the heart. Perhaps he was telling a story. Perhaps he was expressing his fatigue. Or maybe he just wants to be heard, even if there is no audience in front of him. A small applause rang out from the team members. But outside, thousands, even millions, of fans felt every note. They weren't in the same room, but there was an invisible connection that bound all the hearts listening that night. No loud cheers were needed. No stadium was needed. Just one sincere voice, and the world fell silent. After the song ended, Jungkook chuckled and apologized if everything felt awkward. He explained that it was just a rehearsal. But who cared if it was just a rehearsal? 'Cause what he gave that night was more than just music. It was a piece of his heart. And we all know that the deepest parts of an artist often emerge in the simplest moments. Then he continued with the second song. This time his voice was deeper. There was a vibration that implied longing and burden. He wasn't just singing, he was pouring out his emotions. And we, behind the scenes, could feel it. We could see that someone who always appeared strong and perfect on stage also had a very human, vulnerable side.
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted, you've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head, I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test, I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play.
He had mentioned that he was currently choreographing the performance. Practice after practice, hour after hour, he endured it all for one thing, to put on a show worth the wait. Yet, amidst all the pressure and busyness, he still chose to show up. To greet, to sing, and to share a little warmth with those who silently missed him. Not only that, he even mentioned the students who had just taken the CSAT in Korea. "Thank you for your hard work," he said in a low, caring voice. It might seem simple, but for many struggling, those words can be like an invisible hug. And that's the beauty of Jungkook. He doesn't just greet fans, he touches their souls. That night, he wasn't on screen for long. He sang only 2 songs, spoke a few sentences, and then said goodbye. But for those watching, it was a night they would never forget. He closed with, "I'm going. Take care. Meet." That last word, meet, didn't sound like goodbye. Sounded like hope. Like a promise. That someday we will meet again, not on a small screen but on a grand stage embraced by light and sound. There was no music at the end of the video. There were no dramatic effects. But we all felt uplifted. 'Cause someone we love, who has filled our days with song and passion, simply showed up to remind us that we are not alone. That even though he is busy, he still remembers us. Jungkook didn't try to be perfect that night. He was simply himself. And precisely because of that, we saw a person far deeper than just an artist. We saw a human being who loves what he does, loves the people who support him, and strives to keep that warmth alive, even if only through a screen. For all of us who watched that night, tears probably welled up involuntarily. Not from sadness, but from a feeling of warmth that cannot be described in words. 'Cause we knew we had just witnessed something rare, an honesty that is unfeigned, a love that requires no reciprocation. That night was proof that the relationship between Jungkook and his fans is more than just that of an idol and an audience, but like a family that never forgets each other. Like 2 hearts connected by stories, by songs, by small moments that feel big. And when the screen goes dark again, we don't feel lost. We feel more fulfilled. 'Cause even though he left to continue practicing, he left behind something more than just a song. He left behind.
You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted. You've been gifted with.
Thank you for joining us on this meaningful story today. If this story touched your heart, if Jungkook's voice made you feel closer despite the distance, then don't let this moment pass you by. Be a part of this journey. Because here, we don't just watch, we feel, remember, and love together. Continue to support this channel so we can continue to present sincere stories, touching moments, and heartwarming news from the world of K-pop, especially from those who have colored our lives like Jungkook and the other BTS members. With 1 like, 1 share, and 1 subscribe button from you, we can continue to grow, continue to create, and continue to be a home for all.
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel